Honorable Director told you that without science and technology we can never develop. Me and Dr. Fahad completed a project on marble under the Park US S&T Cooperation Program. So this talk includes a brief introduction, a brief literature, experimental techniques, results and discussion and conclusions. Globally, Pakistan is considered as the 6th largest extractor of marble. However, our contribution, its contribution to our economy is $130 million out of the $60 to 70 billion global exports. And annual growth rate of this contribution is about 8%. Marble, it comes from the Latin word memoros, and which means a shining stone, which gives you a luster, static beauty, and it is used as building and decorative stone. It is called dimensional stone because its all beauty and its application is associated with the shapeability. We shape it into specific dimensions and then we utilize it. It is a metamorphic calcareous carbonate material formed by recrystallization at high temperatures and composed of crystalline aggregates of calcite and dolomite. The objective of this project which we executed, was to investigate the phase, chemical and microstructural investigation of these materials, their environment of physical and mechanical properties, and training of research scholars and local minerals. And for this purpose, I established a material research laboratory and a mineral upgradation pilot plant at Peshawar University so that our youth know about the value of the mineral wealth we have in our land. Because what instigated me, an Afghan businessman once came to me with a stone and told me that we are selling it for 2,000 rupees. A truck of that material was sold at rupees 2,000. And when I checked that with the scanning electron microscopy, energy dispersive electron spectroscopy, it was 68% chromite, which is the best, I think, one of the best resources of chromite in the lower mountains of Afghanistan. And that instigated me towards such project. The marble resources in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, there is no reliable data which I could rely on. Some are saying it's 3 billion, but it is given that we have Rishun, Shagur, Gahirit, Shishiveli, Chitral, Mardan, Guner, Naushera, and all turns out to be 2,900. But natural resources are basically associated with the discovery, that how we discover them and how we report them. If you go to any forum in this country and ask about the estimate of the resources, you will get multiple answers. So there is no clear, reliable database of mineral wealth of this country, in this region. The calcite has 3 popular polymorphs. One is calcite, which is rhombohedral, the other is aragonite, which is a thorambic, and the third is veterite, which is hexagonal or thorambic. So it crystallizes into these 3 polymorphs. The only stable at room temperature is calcite and the others are metastable. Yes, please. So the major phase commonly found in marble is calcite and it is called the major mineral present there. And the secondary phases are numerous. It depends upon the local chemistry of the mine, that whether it is a siliceous environment, it is a quartz environment, or it is some other mineral alkaline environment, and with that the composition changes. But the 2 main phases that are found in the marble are calcite and dolomite. Dolomite contains magnesium. Why microstructure? And what is microstructure? Microstructure basically dictates the quality, the the usability of a marble stone. That if you know about the microstructure, you can know about the mechanical and the physical property of that specific material. And my specialty is microstructure and phase analysis. That is why I am talking about it. So it is basically the size and shape of grains, relationship among adjacent grains, and their orientation within a rock. Similarly, texture is the distribution of crystallographic orientation within a rock. And when a rock has a completely random orientations of crystals, we say it has no texture. Rock fabric or microstructure comes from the processes a rock undergoes throughout its geological history. It undergoes how much pressure, it undergoes how much temperature, and how it crystallizes and recrystallizes with time. Such a polyphase deformation events and metamorphism, studying the processes that lead to fabric development and its quantification is crucial to understand and predict rock weathering and deterioration. Adjacent grain analysis needed to assess the suitability of a marble for cladding. Now, when you are processing a specific material, for example, you are processing a clay. Clay is a fine particle material. People think that when we grind it to the ultimate finest particle size, it will be homogeneous. No. If you look into the flour, when it is finely ground, it makes agglomerates, and that agglomeration introduces heterogeneity into the material. For application, sometimes you need heterogeneity, and in other times you need homogeneity. For some properties, you need fine particle size, but for other properties, you need coarse particle size. I'll give the example of telecommunication devices, that when you make a resonator and you need a smooth transmission of signal inside a material, for that a single crystal will be much better than a polycrystalline material, because a polycrystalline material at the grain boundaries you will lose the connectivity. But if you are making a crack resistant material, for that you need a fine grain microstructure, because every grain boundary will give you a hurdle to stop the crack, right? So microstructure in this respect is very, very important. So when we say granoplastic gives you a homogeneous microstructure. But there is another name, CD8. When you go there is aggregation of multiple grains around a big grain, a large grain, and that gives you higher mechanical properties. Similarly, the best marble, when you talk about, people say Bamboha marble is the best one, because you can, if you look at the workability of that material, you can work upon that. But if you are using a marble for flooring, then you need silicate phases inside there. You need dolomite there to make it tougher towards the crack, towards the scratching. So if it is scratchy, then it is not usable on the floor. So sometimes you need soft material, and at other times you need hard material. The softness comes from the increase in calcium content, in calcite content, calcium oxide, and the toughness comes from silicates, from magnesium, because magnesium enhances the viscosity of the fluid, and the same is true towards its mechanical property. So, as I told you, one is granoplastic and the other is CD8 interlocate texture. So there you find more resistant to crack in comparison to this, because here the crack initiation and the crack propagation is easier. If I tell you in Pashto چې تاسو د توت لرګي او هغه تاسو ماتوئ نو هغه هر ځای کې د تبر ګزار غواړي نو هغه کریک به په مخ کې ځي خو که د نختر لرګي نو هغه چې یو سر کې کریک پیدا کړي تر اینډه پورې ځي نو چې څومره ګرین باونډري زیات دي نو دومره به کریک ریزسټنس زیات دي او ماربل چې دی د دې ویلیو تباه کېږي په کریک باندې که هغه مایکرو کریک دی او که هغه میکرو کریک دی ماربل دغه سره ختمیږي. Is it coming? So the microstructural features are very, very important in that respect. And marble in our country is generally used as a decorative material or as a floor tile or in different form, but internationally marble is the most precious kitchen topping. It is the most precious for the very fancy and high-level buildings. And international in our country, it is the cheapest material, but globally it is the most expensive material. And